Hey guys, Coach Brian here from Minlax.com. Today we're going to talk about how we get these leather strips, and other than just going to your local lacrosse store and forking over a bunch of cash for them. One of the cool things about lacrosse is, it's a really unique sport. You can't just go to the store, pick up a stick, and as you guys know, you can't just go out and play with it. It's got to be strung, and ideally strung by someone that knows what they're doing. That's going to give you a pocket that's going to perform and last, and it's never going to let you down. Another neat way of getting back into lacrosse, I cut my own leathers, and it's for starters, saves some money when you're stringing out as many sticks as I do. You got to find a way to cut those costs. That's the way to do it. But more importantly, it's allowed me to kind of get back to lacrosse. More to the roots. We think about our traditional sticks, where it was all made from one piece of wood. Hand carved. The gut sides, the leathers, the string, everything going in there. Really made it unique, a more individual sport. And it's one of the things I like about being able to cut my own leathers, kind of getting a little bit more into it, more hands-on. So that's enough talking and chit-chatting. So let's get right to it. We have our standard lacrosse leathers. We're looking at, it's a 1/4 inch wide. Normally it's about an 8-ounce weight, and leather has it's measured by the weight and the ounce. And I have really no idea how they calculate it. Some crazy math, or maybe it's really simple and I just didn't read it. But anywhere between 8 and 10 ounces are ideal for lacrosse sticks. Anything you're seeing that's pre-sold in the stores, it's going to be about an 8-ounce leather. Those are great, but that is where you run into trouble when it gets wet and you don't dry it out all the time. It might start to bunch a little bit. So you want to step up, or I do anyway, step up to the 9 and 10 ounce weight, which is just slightly thicker, but that makes all the difference in the world. Just a little bit hardier leather, and so that's gonna put up with getting run through some puddles, getting rained on. It'll hold up, and you can kind of move up, but once you start getting over the 11 or over the 10 ounce into like the 11, 12 ounce variety, it definitely gets a little stiffer. Can be a little trickier to work with at times, and real as far as a specific situation where you want to get that involved. Something like that would be a 12 ounce versus an 8 ounce. Let's see if through HD you can see a difference there. I know I can. Almost twice as thick there. Again, really don't use the 12 ounce much, but you can. So after a couple years of cutting my own leathers, I decided, why don't I make a couple, maybe a little bit wider leathers going in through there. And so I tried that. I was like, well, that was kind of neat. So what if I made it even wider still? So we've got our standard 1/4 inch, and so I've tried some experimenting going up to 1/3 of an inch, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch, inch wide. Some of the widest I've been using, and that one's pretty wide. I'm not really sure we want to go whole lot more than that, or even the 1 inch. The 3/4 seems to be the sweet spot. And I started pairing them, as you can see on this head, to the standard 1/4 inch wide in the middle, and I've got 2 of the 1/2 inch wide going down the outside, and that really allows for a nice channel through here where it's going to grip the ball in the pocket, but not at all up at the top, so you get a real smooth release, so you get a lot of hold without any added whip. Really great evolution in the lacrosse pocket, and we want to teach you guys how to do this, or you're feeling lazy, you can always just order them from me and I'll send them out to you. But again, so today we're going to talk about how to cut these things, how to get the leather, tools you're going to need, everything else for our prep. So we'll start off. You're going to need some leather. So here's a piece that I have started out with. Start moving down, you can see it, still moving, still moving, still moving, still moving. There it is. Alright, nice big chunk of leather. This one's actually pretty small, it's right towards the tail end of this piece. And so when we're getting our leathers, first off we're getting cowhide. I suppose there's other animals out there you might be able to use. I'll just use cowhide, probably look into that next. But we're getting double and single shoulders are what you want to look for. Find a leather place, maybe a saddle shop, do a Google search for horses, saddle, tack, something like that, and talk to the people there that do the bridles, saddle work. They'll either have some stuff there, maybe they can tell you who their supplier is. Go ahead and order some stuff. But again, I like getting the double single shoulders. Sometimes they'll have scrap pieces, sometimes the belly strips will work pretty well. but the shoulders are nice, and it's a good smooth finish. There's also different grades you can get, just like anything else, you know, different paint jobs, everything else going through. You can get some really nice, really expensive stuff, or you can get kind of middle of the road, which is really what I enjoy. And again, I like the 9-10 ounce. It's pretty much all I use anymore. I've kind of done away with 8 ounce unless someone again asks for it especially. So your double shoulder is essentially like what it sounds like. It's both shoulders of the cow, and your single shoulder obviously is just one of those shoulders. Double shoulder is let's see, normally about 9 to 10 square feet, whereas that single is going to be, you know, about 4.5, maybe 5 square feet. So you want to, when you're picking these out, definitely want to look around, make sure there aren't any big scars or holes or divots, things like that. Or if there are, no big deal. See if it's on like a trim piece somewhere that's not really going to be used where your strips are. So again, this is just a little small piece right here that I'm kind of using just to show you, so my arms don't get tired holding up the big pieces. But while I still have some strength in my arms, I'll show you a double shoulder. So here's what it is, all rolled up. We'll go ahead and open this guy up, see what it looks like. Found my scissors. Good tool. These aren't leather scissors. These are just for cutting this string. You want to get some good leather shears. Spend a little bit of money, maybe 20, 30 bucks even. Probably get away with like 19, but you know, get some good shears. So again, here's this double shoulder. And this is bigger than I remembered. So these things are huge. It's almost half a sleeping bag. Not really sure if that's showing from the camera at all. I can't see my monitor. So we'll just assume you guys can understand how massive this thing is. So again, we need to make this a little bit smaller, easier to work with. Okay. So, trim that down into smaller chunks. Maybe split that one in half. I won't get too technical as far as how I get into it, because I really want to maximize every little square inch of this leather that I can. But again, I'm doing this as a business. You guys just cutting some of your own for fun. You can have a little bit of you know, goof up a little bit, waste a little leather. That's okay. You're still going to save a ton of money buying it by the half shoulder, the double shoulder, excuse me, single shoulder or double shoulder, than you will in the store. In most stores, you know, you're what, $1.99, almost $2.50 for each leather. You can get these significantly cheaper by doing the work yourself. And it's kind of cool. You can say you cut your own leathers. Or you can say you got some hand-cut leathers from Minlax. So, we're going to start out again with our leather. First get to it, we're going to go over our tools. So our first thing we're going to use here is going to be our strap cutter, or leather strip cutter, strap cutter. They're both pretty much called the same. Does the same stuff. It's a really, really ancient tool. I was about to spout off, maybe it's a couple 100,000-year-old. I actually have no idea. I should do more research, as you know, part of getting back into this, learn everything about the game and stuff associated with it. I'll do some more research and get back with you. But we'll just say it's really old. I thought there'd be something cool, new, high-tech, great way to, you know, cut leather strips, get them done. Went into the store, talked to these guys, and they're like, nope, it's just this old wood thing. But it works really well. So, we're getting in here, we're getting ready. Real simple. There's a screw on the top, and that's going to loosen the whole thing. There's a little mechanism down here. Attach the screw, it's holding it down. That's going to anchor everything in place. We loosen it up, and then we're able to slide these pieces around. And as you can see, it's measured on here. Got our inches, millimeters coming out. Well, it's upside down. This is probably easier for you guys to see. And right here is our razor blade. It slides right in there. And so we adjust this, slide it up and down to the width of how thick we want our leather. So this is going to line up coming in. Just make sure I'm on camera. It'll slide in through there. So we're going to set up our width. So we'll go ahead and set this up. We'll start some 1/4 inch, just standard leathers for right now. So we're going to go ahead, make sure that blade's all the way in the wood. You don't want that thing popping out and cutting into your finger. It'll sting. So I've already got a line on here. I'm going to flip it around so you guys can see. And that's my 1/4 inch mark right in on there. So I want this to line up on the box. We go ahead and tighten down my tool and make sure my width is accurate, except it's not. So this is a good time to show you how to use the width. So I'm going to loosen it back up again and screw on my other end here. I can go tighten it, or I can loosen it, and that's going to control how much of this blade gets exposed. So I want to go ahead and widen this up, and easy way to do it is to just slide the leather into the top part before you get to the blade, and then I just kind of squeeze these down both arms until they're kind of meeting on there. You don't want it too tight, but you definitely want it snug. So we've got that on there, and now we'll go ahead, make sure we're set on our 1/4 inch line, which it is, and I tighten that tool. So as you guys can see, I'm on my 1/4 inch line there. Blade's ready to go. I got the width I want. Tighten this again, nice and tight. Just to let you guys know, I am left-handed. I could be doing this completely backwards. I have no idea. So if you try and do it the exact same way I do it, it feels really, really weird. Yeah, maybe I'm a lefty and you're a righty. I'll try it on the other hand. So we're starting out. We're going to take our leather, and it's not always going to have this perfect right angle and the strip coming down. That's from me doing some work. So we're going to pretend this is kind of wavy, and maybe we first got it and it's not perfectly straight. There's some fancy tools you can use. You can get some T-squares, some big blades, big cutting board, and square everything off. Or do what I do, kind of get that first strip. This one's just going to be kind of a one we're going to lose, but we're going to use that to get our straight edge all the way down. So we go ahead and start feeding the leather in up until that blade. And I'm just going to kind of pull with my left hand, holding the tool in my right. I'm going to pull up on this leather here on the base until I've got maybe an inch or so coming out right there for this first strip. And as soon as the strip clears the tool, I'm going to go ahead and grab onto that strip, and this is going to do all the work. My left hand, or again my right hand, I'm holding the tool, and I'm kind of pressing and also kind of holding the leather, the big piece, against the tool here. So now I'm going to pull on the strip, again keeping my right hand the pressure even so the edge of the leather is coming into the tool. And I keep pulling down, and then every couple inches reposition my hands, grab this strip again. So I'm just going to pull on the strip. I can't keep the tool in the same place. I'm pulling the leather towards the tool as opposed to pulling the tool across the leather. Again, I'm just going to kind of pull this strip, keep pulling, and there. And now you can just go ahead and toss the strip you just made, because it's probably going to be uneven if what we cut was just kind of a natural edge. So now we can look at our piece of leather, and we've got this nice straight edge going across. Now we're set. So we're ready to cut our next 1/4 inch strip. So we get in there. Again, I'm just going to slide the leather into the tool. As you can see, it's just enough room for that leather to slide in there. If it's loose, this will kind of move around, and that'll make your cut uneven. So we slide this in. Again, I'm going to push the leather section up, pull it up if I need to. First couple inches, I need to get the strip exposed. Once the strip is exposed, grab onto it, start pulling on the strip. Again, I'm keeping some even pressure, holding the tool in my right hand, holding the leather piece in here. Pulling with this, I'm not pulling the tool. And again, just pulling that strip, coming across, making sure I'm keeping this leather even against the tool. And then we've got our first strip. Move on, show you guys one more time with this. Let's say what, we'll just kind of jazz this up and move it up so you can see some of the bigger leathers. But again, same idea, just kind of loosen the tool, adjust this, pushing it forward in and out, and so we get closer to our 1/2 inch lines. Same thing, I go tighten that up. My width should be the same, that shouldn't have changed, may have a little, tighten that again. Excuse me. Get the leather, I'm just going to slide it in there, and again, once again, pushing this first part of the leather through until the strip emerges, and once you get that strip, start pulling it across. And again, I'm keeping the leather nice and even on the edge of the tool here. I'm just pulling on the leather strip itself, not pulling the tool across the leather. And then we've got our nice big wide strip, and there's our first strip there, a little comparison. So as you can see, a couple different ways of doing that. I've actually cut our leathers. Other tools I use, we've got Our utility blade, X-Acto knife. Careful with these, they're sharp. Another tool I use when I'm working with the big pieces of leather on the shoulders, it's a wheel knife, circular knife. I have no idea what the technical word for it is, but yeah, it's a little round knife. The blade, it spins around as you move it up and down across the leather, and you can cut through. Useful tool, doesn't cost a lot. I'm sure there's really high-tech ones. This one's plastic. So far, it's gotten the job done for me. Some other neat stuff you can do. One of the things I do is I start, for all the Minlax leathers that I ship out, they get the embossed, I don't know if you guys can see this on there, there we go, the Lacrosse stick embossed in there on the smaller ones, and on the wider leathers, let's see, probably the half-inch and wider, we do the feathers imprinted on there. Open some other ideas. We can do custom logos for teams, clubs, anything you guys want. And let's see. So we've gone over everything else. We've gone over our tools. We've gone over how to cut the strips. As far as putting the holes in these strips, you guys check out the other videos. We've got a whole leather prep section on what you do once you've made your strips. Let's see. Alright, so we've got all our leather strips coming through there, gone through the tools, and that's pretty much going to be a wrap-up on this one. So go out, find yourself one of these strap cutters, find yourself some leather, do a lot of practice. Maybe even get a small piece like this, cut like 50, 60 times to get the hang of it before you start going with some decent leather. And there's different grades of leather out there. Some that cost a lot more than others. You can experiment, trying some different combinations. At the very least, you'll get something that looks really cool, and at most you're going to come up with some really cool pockets like I have. I'm a big fan, again, of these wide leathers mixed with the small ones. I call these the beef jerky pockets. We can do the wide in the middle, which gives you a real nice straight hard shot, or the wide on the outside for that extra grip. Again, not adding any extra whip at all, and as you can see, we've got some of the imprints on these leathers up here, and not adding any extra whip at all. Fantastic. So cool. So thanks for checking out this Minlax video. This has been Coach Brian, and hope you guys now know how to work these leathers. We'll have some others coming up as far as how to treat these for waterproofing, different kind of stains, ways to get different colors on here, and yep, anything else to do with leathers. And alright, thanks for watching.